In this video, I'm going to be talking about the 3 different stages we look at when we're improving conversion rate. My name is Jordan Hayes. I own a company that helps e-commerce brands scale their revenue past $500,000 per month through ad creative, paid ads, and conversion rate optimization. So when we're helping our clients improve their conversion rate, we like to look at 3 different stages. And those 3 different stages are the added to cart rate, the reach checkout rate, and the sessions converted rate. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to break down each of these 3 stages, and we're going to go through each one. And what this does is that when we break conversion rate down into these 3 stages, it allows us to see which stage needs work and how much drop off is happening before people purchase. Rather than just looking at the conversion rate and saying, oh, the conversion rate is 2.5%, how can we improve it? We want to be able to look more at like the different stages of what's happening before people actually check out and where the drop off is happening. So to visualize it, this is what it looks like. So someone adds to cart, then they reach the checkout, and then they convert, right? So they purchase. And you have, of all the people who visit your website, you have a percentage of people who would add to cart, and then from there you will have a percentage of people who reach the checkout, and then from there you'll have a percentage of people who actually purchase, right? And not everyone who add to cart is going to purchase. So that's when we can look at each of these different sections and see how can we improve them. So let's start off with the add to cart rate. So as I mentioned, of all the sessions on your website, how many of those sessions added to cart? And this metric really helps us see how good our website is at getting people to add to cart. So that's really the first step. And the more optimized we can make our homepage and product page, the higher this metric will be, right? So that's how we can improve it. Now, some ways that we've increased add to cart rate is we can focus on optimizing the product page and make it as easy as possible for the customer to add a product to cart. Especially if we're driving ad traffic that eventually is going to be landing on a product page, it's really important that we optimize that product page to make sure we're increasing the number of people who are adding the product to cart. And another way to increase this metric is to make the site faster. We've seen that increases in site speed, increase conversion rate, and that all starts with increasing the add to cart rate. Now, the second thing is the reached checkout rate. The reach checkout rate is the number of sessions that reached the checkout from all of the sessions on your website, right? So after someone adds to cart, they then go to the checkout. And this is, of all the number of sessions, how many people actually reach the checkout. And this metric helps us see how many people actually reach in the checkout after they add to cart, right? And a big drop off here would indicate that there could be some friction for the user to get to the checkout page, or the checkout flow itself may not be optimized for conversions. So a few ways we help increase the reach checkout rate. So first, before we want to go in and make any changes, we want to see what the flow is, right? Are we driving people directly to a cart page are we driving people directly to a cart page after they add to cart, right? This should be add to cart. Or are we keeping them on a product page, right? On some pages, you will add to cart, and then you will stay on the add to cart page, and you will see that the product has been added to the cart, usually maybe in the top right. That's one way of doing it. Some other brands like to drive you directly to the cart page after you click the add to cart button, and some pages even drive you directly to the checkout. So 2 ways I've seen this metric increase. So we can drive people straight to a cart page after they click add to cart. And the second way is using a slide out card that opens once someone adds to cart, and give them a call to action to go straight to the checkout, skipping the cart page altogether. So with this example is that if you're on a product page and you click the add to cart button, a side panel will slide out and it will tell you that the product has been added to cart, and it will give you the option to go straight to the checkout, right? That's what the button would be. And what this allows us to do is it allows us to tell the customer, hey, the product has been successfully added to your cart. Would you like to go and check out now? If so, click the button. And this works really well because you just skip the cart page altogether. So you skip a step in the funnel and you just go straight to the product page. So that is another option to increase the reached checkout rate. And lastly, the sessions converted rate. The sessions converted rate is the number of sessions that purchase from all of the sessions on your website, right? So this metric is the conversion rate, and we want to see how many people are dropping off from add to cart to checkout to conversion. So if there's a big drop off from the number of people who add to cart and reach the checkout to the number of people who are purchasing, there could be something in the checkout flow that is adding more friction, right? So people are adding to cart, they get into the checkout page, but they're not converting. It's a question of why aren't they converting? What's the problem? And ways that we've increased this sessions converted rate is making sure that we're only asking customers for the least information possible when they check out. Sometimes Shopify will put in other fields such as like company name and different fields that aren't really required in the checkout process. We want to reduce that as much as possible, but still make sure we're collecting the most important information. Second thing is we want to make our call to action buttons and shipping times and cost clear. So with the call to action buttons, making them clear, be it changing the color, we want customers to know where they need to click next to go to the next step. And we want to make our shipping times and shipping costs clear, right? If shipping's free, we want to make that clear. If we're charging for shipping, we want to make that clear. If we can provide a shipping timeline, then that's great, right? And it also gives the customer peace of mind of when the product is going to be arriving. Third is we want to make it easy for customers to input a discount code. This is quite a frustration a lot of times. If customers don't know how or where to input their discount code, they can bounce and leave the checkout. We want to make it as easy as possible. Shopify by default, don't make this as easy as you may think on mobile. Customers have to click a drop down to be able to enter their code. You can change the messaging of that so that customers know that's where they need to enter their code. We can give the customer different payment options such as ShopPay and PayPal. This helps with just increasing the number of ways customers can check out. And if you're on Shopify Plus or have a custom checkout, you can customize the checkout, right? So you can add more social proof, more trust to increase the number of customers who purchase. With a custom checkout or with Shopify Plus, you're allowed to add some customization, and it really helps improve that social proof and trust, which is going to maybe answer some of the last objections customers have when they're at the final stage of making their purchase. So those are the three ways that we look at those three stages to increase conversion rate. And as I said, once we know the metrics for each of these, it makes it so much easier for us to identify where the changes need to happen and where we can focus our time on. So if you took some value from this video, please hit a like and subscribe, and I will see you in a future video where I'll be sharing even more insight as to how e-commerce brands can scale their revenue and profit. Thank you.